Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so I will tell you that how to download that software, required software. So once you download that, so first actually this Anypoint Studio requires Java latest versions. That is the first you have to install the Java latest version. So more than 1.7, either equal to 1.7 or else more than 1.7 like 1.8. Okay, so first we have to download. This is the URL for downloading the Java software. I was pinging in the chart. That is the URL. Just download the Java and install in your machine and set the class path. Okay, so
Okay.
if you are using Windows 10, how to set? So there is a my computer, this PC option is there. Okay, this PC option is there in the Windows 10. So right click on that, click on the properties. This is for class path setting.
Okay.
Once you install the this Java, we need to set the class path, because so everywhere Java should work actually. If you not set the class path, so only the programs will work on the only bin folder actually. Once you install that, so it will get like this: C drive, program files. It will come under the program files. It will create a Java folder. Under Java folder, it will get like this: JDK and JRE. Okay, so
Okay.
download both JDK and JRE here. From clearly they mention the links. Okay, you have to accept
Okay.
the agree button, agree reduce radio button. So then you have to download both the things, JRE and JDK. So based on your operating system, so if it is a Windows, so that is a 64-bit, right? You have to download
Right.
this link. Okay, this is a JDK. Similarly, JRE also there. So just try to download both the things and install it. Okay, once your
Okay.
installation is done in your mission, you will get like this: JDK and JRE. After that, we need to set the class path. So why we need to set the class path? So if you see, if you open the folders, so there is a subfolders are there. Bin is here. Okay, here is the required jar files are there. Whatever the required jar files are there, so the jar file should available everywhere actually. Okay, so that's why what we are doing, we are setting the path in globally. In global you are setting, wherever you execute your program, your Java will execute it actually. So or else if you not set the class path, so the jar files are available in the bin folder itself. You have to create the programs under bin folder. So here only it will execute, because here all the required jar files here. Okay, if you are writing one program, so that depend on some jar files actually. JRE is Java Runtime Environment. JDK Java Development Kit. So JDK will support whatever the built-in classes are using, so that will support these built-in classes. Java Runtime Environment will support your Java running. So can you mute yourself whenever you have a question? Just ask
Okay.
ask your question, because this is going to record you. Okay, that's the thing actually. So for that, we need to set the class path. So how we'll set the class path once your installation is done, the Java. So right click on this PC. If you are in my mission, I'm using Windows 10. So that's why I will get like this option. So if you are using Windows 8 or Windows 10, so might be if it is a Windows 8, my computer is there. In case of Windows 10, we have a this PC is there. So right click on this PC. So go to properties file. Okay. So here there is an option called advanced system settings. So click the advanced system settings. So there is the option called again in the sub window. So that is environment variables. In the environment variables, we need to set the Java underscore home. If you see here, so how we'll create Java underscore home. So first we need to copy the path actually where you install the Java. So up to here we need to copy it. So C program files. In my machine I installed by default any machine, it was installing under program files. If you want to change, you can change it. So, but by default, wherever your operating system is there, generally operating system is in C drive, right? So that's why it was installing under C drive program files Java JDK 1.8, so some version. So copy this. So here we need to create a variable here. So click here. So I already added the Java underscore home. So for you newly added, right? So for that we need to create, so the link, the button called new. Okay, so click this button. So we'll get a variable name and then variable value. In place of variable name, so keep it a Java underscore home like this. In place of value, just paste it whatever you copied, right? So just paste it. That's it. So that is nothing but a Java underscore home. Okay, so and one more thing we need to do, so that is under user variable and then system variable. Wherever you can add it, you can add it actually, because if you add in a user variable, so that is only specific user. Okay, so might be in your machine multiple users are there, right? So generally, so admin user there and then normal user there is there, right? If you add in system variables, so that is not specific to particular user actually, it's a whole machine. If you want to add specific user, so then you have to add the things in under a user variable. Okay, if you see here the mission name is like this, you are getting like this. Okay, but if you add in a system variable, so that is whole system, not only specific user. So here IO settings, the path, if you see here, so there is a path already, some might be in your machine if you install any softwares, so the path already created. If not created, you need to create it. There is a button called new, so click again new. So keep it path PATH. So then in the bottom, if you see in my machine so many softwares installed, so including Java, other MySQL and all there, right? So that we have to add here actually. One of the Java class path, here we need to add it. Okay. So what we need to do, end of the flow, end of the location, we need to add that. So keep it a semicolon here. Keep it a semicolon here. So first copy this one. First copy up to here, up to bin, to here. So we need to copy that same thing here actually. See program files, something like that. So we need to add, so same path here. So just copy paste it. Even I didn't add it. That is not required actually. Java underscore home is enough because we are not writing any Java programs. If you want to write Java programs, we need to add that Java class path. This by default it was taking actually. If you see here, so Java program data Oracle Java path, it was taking by default. Okay, so when it, so there is a exe file, right? By default it was taking, but so Java underscore home we should add it actually. Apart from that remaining, so no need to add it. So because it's a exe, it will add default. Okay, so that is about class path. Once you class path setting successfully, so then after that, so there is a one more link, so we need to download using this. So paste this in the browser, that link I was pinging in the chat same. So this is the Anypoint Studio download. So here we need to fill the information. So that is a download 30 days free trial. Okay, even after 30 days also, once you download the GIF file now, so we need to extract it. So that extract file, after 30 days also, if you are facing any issues, just unzipped content is there now, just remove it. So once again from the GIF folder, so we have to unzip it, we can use it actually, you won't get any issue. So but while, so this information you have to fill properly, at least email should be correct. Okay. Sometimes we'll get OTPs and all. We'll get like this mobile number and email address. So give genuine. Remaining thing you can give fake things. No issue. So this is a way to download the Anypoint Studio. So once you download, you will get like this. So, softwares Anypoint Studio. So based on your operating system, so just download accordingly. So this is a Anypoint Studio for Windows 64-bit. I am using Windows 64-bit. So I was downloading Anypoint Studio for Windows 64-bit 6.2.0. So 2.2 is the latest. So you can download latest one only 6.2.2. So download the latest one. Okay. So I was downloading 6.2.0. So once you download it, so we need to extract it. Use some unzip softwares like 7-zip or else Windows some built-in unzip software is there, right? WinRAR kind of thing. Using that, so just unzip it, you will get like this. So open the folder, Anypoint Studio. So here is the shortcut we'll get it. Okay. So this shortcut you need to start it. If you double click on that, so it will start that Anypoint Studio. Okay, so it will ask the class path. Okay, sorry, it will ask the workspace. So what was the use of workspace? The workspace, I heard you already aware of Java, right? So workspace, it's like Eclipse only. Workspace, whatever the programs you are doing, that all the programs should come under the workspace. Okay, so that's why we need to give the some folder location. So you create a new folder, or else existing any workspace is there, just add it. Just add it. So I already started same thing. So this is my workspace. This is my workspace. Okay, so all the things are there here. So that is already added the workspace. So I was showing that workspace. It was showing. It was started here. If you want to change the workspace also, so click on the file. So there is an option called switch workspace. Understood, right? What is my workspace? There is a folder. So we stored all the programs in that folder. So if you want to change the workspace also, you can change it. So there is a different types of workspace. I mean, in my machine, so many workspaces are there. In your machine also, if you create a two workspaces, we can switch like this. So go to file, switch workspace. Then so there is a name here. So all the workspaces, you can click other also. That means if you, I mean, it was showing only limited workspaces there. So you can see multiple workspaces here. So based on that, we can change your workspace. So that is the thing. So once you download the software, you have to unzip it. There is Anypoint Studio shortcut will come. So the symbol will come. So double click on that. So it's not installable actually, that Anypoint Studio. It's a configure. So we need to download it. We need to download it. We have to unzip it using 7-zip software or else any other software for unzip. So once you unzip it, so open this, we'll get a shortcut. So with symbol, Anypoint Studio symbol. So double click on it, so you'll get like this. This Anypoint Studio. Okay, this is the studio. So this is, it's like a Eclipse only. It's almost like a Eclipse only. What these people did, so they took the basic version of Eclipse. Okay, on top of that, they implemented Anypoint Studio related operations. If you see almost these perspectives, and the perspectives means different views you can see. If you click here debug, we can see the debug mode. If you click a design, you can see the design view. Like that, you can change the perspectives, the look and feel actually. So these almost like Eclipse, even shortcuts also almost like Eclipse. So for the these people take the basic layer of Eclipse, on top of that they built it. So that's why almost all the shortcuts like Eclipse only. Okay, so here we have a different parts are there here. Okay, so this is nothing but in Eclipse also you can see package explorer, right? The package explorer contains all the projects information. What are the projects we are going to create it? So once you create the project, so it will come like this. It will come and place here in the package explorer. So there is one of the part under Anypoint Studio. So next one is, this is the canvas. So this is the canvas. What are the empty space in the middle? So wherever you are going to drag and drop the features or else writing the code. So that is nothing but a canvas in the Anypoint Studio. So in the canvas we have a three views are there. So don't forget that flow, I will explain later. I'm saying about this part. So in these three parts are there. One is message flow, another one is global element, and then another one is, so there is a configuration.xml. In the message flow, so you can see the design view. So whatever the components you are going to drag and drop, so this is the design view we can see. That's the message flow. Okay, so next one is global elements. There is a second part of canvas in the global elements. So we can create a global elements, we can edit it, we can delete it actually. What is the purpose of the global elements? The purpose of the global element is you can share the, we can keep it here, the common things of your application. Suppose I'm going to implement one application here or else one service here. So the service contains some common elements, like suppose in your case we are going to create a database connection. Okay, so the database connection is, if you create multiple flows in your project, so the connection is same, right? So that's why whatever the common things are there, we just create under global configuration. Okay, so that time what happened, multiple people, so whoever working on the same project, so they will also consume same things. So whatever you created, so that the common things under global elements, so people can use same things and again. So no need to create once again. So that is a redundancy, you can avoid it. So you can create under global elements. It's like a global elements in Java also you can see, right? So the, if you define a top level, right? So in a method you can use it, outside of method whole class that things are available. Here also same thing. So we can get from the where from the global elements if we define top level. So next one is configuration XML. If you see here, whatever the design view, we can see here, so the same thing backend we can see in the configuration.xml. So this is a configuration XML part. So here this will depend upon the XML. If you know the basics of the XML, so it's well and good actually. It's like a, XML is always, it's kind of tags, right? So here also, once you drag and drop the component, what happened internally, it will generate the XML file. Okay, so even if you're not interested to drag and drop, or else we are in a basic stage, so then that time you have to use drag and drop feature. So but in case of, next level, so but generally people won't use the drag and drop feature. So if you are familiar with this XML, you can directly write the code here itself actually, and it will give the clear suggestions. If you click the control space bar, you will get like this clearly. So what component you want to use it, so just drag and drop that component, it will work it actually. So that is the next level. So if you are familiar with the code and all, so that time, so there is no use of no need to use drag and drop feature. Just write a XML code here directly once you are familiar with XML. So but as of now you can drag and drop it if you're not if you're not much experience on that XML. So we can drag and drop the features. We have the palette is here. From the palette, whatever the component you want to use it, you just drag and drop into the canvas. This is about canvas here. There's a three parts: message flow, global elements, and the configuration.xml. And then this is the package explorer. The package explorer contains whole project information. So that is a this is the second part, this is the first part, and then so third one is Mule palette. In the Mule palette, so all the components are available actually. So here if you see, so many components are available. So here there is a segregation also there. You can see the segregation here. First one is scopes, second one is endpoints, like they will segregate it. So coming to scopes, I just click the scope. In the scopes, so these are the components in the scope. Scope means the what was the exactly scope of that. So like for example, so once click the user, one click the user, some submit button like that from the GUI. So we'll receive that request. So as a middleware guy, we should receive that request after clicking that. So once you receive that, so whatever he was asking, so that particular service we need to execute it. We need to send back as a response. Okay, so that time you can segregate it actually, immediate response required or else, so after some time, so might be sometimes server is busy or else they will say like only PSD hours only request should serve, that kind of constraints is there. So then we have to decide it either it's a synchronous mode or asynchronous mode. So that type of scope we have to decide it. So synchronous mode means that is an immediate response. Instantly, once you take the request, we have to send back as a response. So next one is uh, asynchronous response. Asynchronous response means, for example, like so we are hitting a some I'm exporting one XML, right? Oh, sorry, so one Excel sheet that contains some thousand rows are there in the Excel sheet. So there is a facility in the GUI, right, client side. So we are trying to export import that XML. So we can give that thousand payloads at a time, thousand records at a time. So server should not respond thousand opportunities at a time. Each record is nothing but one opportunity we are going to create into the some Salesforce account. Okay, so it won't respond thousand requests at a time, right? So that's why. So what we need to do. So we have to send asynchronous kind of thing. So I'm talking about this component, synchronous or asynchronous. If it is an asynchronous, once you done that, so that time it will get the response actually. Until unless it's not immediate response. So that type of decisions will take care. So based on our requirement. So that is about one of the scope component. So next one is batch job. Okay, so we can't so many components are there. I will give you randomly one or two or three. Okay, so second one is batch. So batch is also so from the database we are getting bunch of records like 1,000 2,000 records, right? So we need to insert same records into some other external system. So that time we have to use batch job. Using this batch job, you can schedule the job. Okay, so we'll get the input of based on the schedule, right? You can insert so schedule wise. So suppose my requirement is I want to execute every 10 seconds. My job should execute it. Okay, so we'll take the users from the database. I have to dump it to somewhere else. So that keep on pull it. So the data is available in the other database. We have to pick it up. We have to migrate it to other database. So that time we'll go for batch job for bulk records. So that is the thing actually. If you see the for each also it's kind of iteration. It's a for loop in for each in the Java, right? So in the Java also we have a for each. Like here also for each. In the batch we are getting multiple records. We are hitting it to the external system. If you want to loop it, you can use the for each here. Okay, like this poll component is it's kind of a cron job. So what was the purpose of the cron job? So based on the scheduler time, suppose every day 12 p.m. my job should trigger. So that time we'll go for the poll component. It will keep on polling. So once the data is available, or else so whatever the data you are setting in the poll mechanism, so that particular time it will trigger, it will work, it will run the particular service or else whatever you mentioned under the poll component. So that will execute it. So similarly here flow, subflow, and then until successful transactional, these are all coming under scope. Okay, that is a scope part under the palette. So next one is endpoints. If you see endpoints, I have a two endpoints, but so many endpoints are there. So some of them are not there. So if you want to add a plugin, we can add a new plugin actually. There is an option in the Eclipse, right? Eclipse also we have an option, right? If you want to install a new software, what we'll do? So we'll go to help under that install new softwares. There is an option. So if you click it, you can keep it all available softwares, available sites. So then we get here. So from that one of them we'll choose it, we'll install it. Similar way here also like Eclipse, so we can add other plugins also. So some extra plugins, if it is not available in your palette, you can, if it is available in the Mule software. So see this here, so many things are there. So if you want to install it, if you want to add extra plugins, you can select it, particular plugin. Okay, so we can install it. Next, automatically install it. It will ask the restart. So we have to restart the Anypoint Studio. Once restarted successfully, it will start once again. Sorry, yeah, it will restart successfully. That plugin is available in the parent that time. So as of now, in my endpoints, I have only AMQP. This is a queuing mechanism client, so that client is available here. So that is for endpoints. Another one is there is a components. If you see, we have so many components in the palette. So if you see here, there is a CXF component. CXF component is for for creating a SOAP web services, and then expression, Groovy component, Java component. So many things are there. Python, Ruby, script, REST. Yes, many components are there. So do you have any questions as of now?
Yeah, Venkat. What
Yeah,
is the
tell me.
purpose of that endpoint?
Yes, good. So coming back to the endpoints. So here, in my case, I have only, where is this? Oops. Yeah. So the purpose of the endpoint is, suppose here we have a queuing mechanism called. So I'm saying about this specifically this endpoint. So we have a queuing mechanisms called RabbitMQ and ActiveMQ in the market. There is a third party systems, right? So it's not related to MuleSoft. It's a third party system, third party queuing mechanism. Queuing mechanism in the sense, so we have a concept in the JMS, right? In the Java, there is a concept called Java messaging services. So suppose I want to send every day some SMS to the people, right? So we need to keep it to the queue, one by one message will pull from the queue, will send it, right? Similarly here also we have a concept called RabbitMQ and then ActiveMQ. So and then so many queuing mechanisms in the market. Okay, like SQS, Amazon SQS also one of the queuing mechanism, and then IBM have a separate queuing mechanism called WebSphere queuing mechanism, and then Anypoint MQ also there actually. If you see here, Anypoint also means MuleSoft have own queuing mechanism, that is nothing but a Anypoint MQ. So here the purpose of this endpoint, okay, so I have a RabbitMQ installed in my machine. Okay, so whenever you once you configure it, right, so we need to subscribe the message from the queue, and then we need to insert the message into the queue, right? Some mediator should require for connecting to the external system, right? So here is the AMQP is the client to talk to the RabbitMQ. So that is the thing actually. Suppose, for example, you are working with a database connection. Okay, so the database is like Oracle, MySQL, and then Cassandra. We have a different types of SQL and NoSQL databases in the market. Okay, so for establishing a connection between your Java code and the backend, so like Oracle, so what we'll do, we have to use some jar file to establish the connection. Understood, right? So that jar file contains what? So that related driver classes are available. So here also for connecting third party system called RabbitMQ, we have to use the client name is AMQP. So that is a endpoint here. AMQP is the client to talk to the external system. You understood, right?
Yeah, got it.
Good. So this is the one of the component. So when it will available, so by default, if you search in your palette, so if you already install an Anypoint Studio, that is won't available. So you have to, you have to add a new software. So there is a two ways you can add it. So one is install new softwares. Okay. Another one is we can copy paste your plugin directly. That one also, that is also way, or else uh, here we can search it. there is a Anypoint exchange is there. Suppose I'm searching something here. So if you see here, search exchange for SAD here. Suppose I want to check in, I want to see some LinkedIn connector that is not available in my palette. You can search here actually. Search exchange for LinkedIn connector. This is the way you can add it. Okay. So first way is you can go help, install new software. So you can add it here, or else so we can search directly here. If it is not available, click search exchange link. You will get one more window, right? So there it will search it, it will give it to you, then you can install. Okay, so for this we need to register in the Anypoint Studio, whatever the username password you give, right? So if it is not there, just register yourself. Sign up button is there. Register yourself. There is a free only, so there is no subscription required. So username password you have to give it. So once you give it, so then it will download from the exchange itself, or else here it won't ask any credentials. So install new softwares, whatever the plugin is not available in anywhere, a palette, right? You can like Facebook connector, all the connector. Facebook already there in my palette, so might be initial time it won't there. So because they keep by default some limited connectors only, but connectors are available. Okay, you can add like that. So require connector. Okay, so that is about the external endpoints, means endpoints. So we're discussing about palette. You are clear, right? So this is about components. So many components are there here. Like one of the component is CXF, that is for SOAP web services. Groovy for Groovy script writing. So Java is there, and then flow reference is there for referring another flow. We'll discuss all these components later one by one. Next one is transformers. So next part is transformers after components. Transformers. So the purpose of the transformers is we have to convert your data from one format to another format. So for that purpose we have to use this transformers. For example, we are get a file to string transformer is there. So I want to convert that file, whatever the file you are getting, I want to convert into the string. So that time you have to use file to string, file to byte array, email to string, like that automatically. No need to write any code actually, just we have to drag and drop based on your requirement. Suppose I want to convert from object to string, I'm getting buffer input string or else something Java object I'm getting. So I want to convert that object into the string. uh, Generally we need to write lot of code to convert. From that we have to take the object, we have to parsing, we have to convert it, we have to use integer.parseInt or something like that, string dot. We have to do so much of code we have to write it actually. But here in this case we need to just drag and drop this component, automatically that convert into the required format, object to string or also object to XML. So like that it will convert. So here one more thing, under transformers we have a variable, flow variable, a record variable, and then session variable. All the variables also there under transformers. So next one is, it's a filter. Next partition is the filter. So if you see filter, so what was the purpose of this filter? Suppose I'm getting a bunch of records from the database, but I want to get only where salary is greater than 2 lakh, right? That people only I want to consider. Okay, so that time we can use filter component. You can filter it, anti-filter or filter. There is a custom filter is there. So many filters are there here. You can filter accordingly. You can add regular expressions also, regex, right? Like mobile numbers. There is a mobile number format only 10 digits. This starting with numerics, like that we can restrict it, right? Regular expression. And then email formats we can keep it. So this is nothing but so there is a filter. You can filter it, so our data, so based on that filters. Okay, so next one is flow control. Flow control. So these are the flow control option. So we are creating a flow. We are planning to, I mean, in our requirement. So there is a choice component is there. So based on the choice we need to route it actually, based on the condition, right? We need to route it accordingly. For the controlling the flow we have to use this component, choice component, collection aggregator, then First successful. So then scatter gather, it's a parallel processing, splitter. These are all the flow controls under palette. Okay, so next one is error handling. Once you've done the flow, we need to implement the exception handling also, because this is an important thing. Once you've done that, so generally our Q people will do negative testing and positive testing kind of thing, right? But as a positive testing will it will work. Some of the negative scenarios we should handle it actually. Suppose we are using any other APIs or talking to any other external system, we need to pass user ID password, right? Suppose by mistakenly user is passing some user ID password wrong, that time we need to tell boss you are entering user ID password wrong, or else whatever you are hitting that URL is wrong. So that type of message will send back to the client, right? Whoever requesting our services, right? So for that purpose we need to use that error handling part. These are the exception strategies you can use it actually. So for every component, for every components here in the palette, we'll discuss one by one thoroughly. Okay, so next one is here security thing. So we have a auth provider module is the security property placeholder is there. So the placeholder functionality is nothing but a so environment specific actually. Suppose now we are in a development mode, we have to work in the dev environment. So tomorrow we have to push our changes to the next level, that is a testing environment, QC, then finally stage, then finally production, right? Like that we have to change your code into different environments. So then we have to validate it accordingly. Finally we'll push the changes to the production, right? So for that we have to use a placeholder. So we should not hard code it anywhere. We should keep some environment specific properties file, so we have to work accordingly. For that purpose we have to use placeholder, and then OAuth authentication also there. For end-to-end authentication we have to use OAuth authentication component. So these are the components under palette. These are the segregation of the components under palette. So this is about palette. And coming to back here, so any questions as of now?
Go on.
Okay, good. So next one is here, there is a console. Even in Eclipse also we have a console, right? So in the console, so we'll display that. So whenever you execute your flow, the all the logs, right? Either it's a error logs or else it's a success log, it will come in here. So any issue you can see the log. Suppose in your flow any doing anything mistake, it will come here, it will display here. If it is any exception or else any warning, any error kind of thing, it will display in the console. So based on that console, so we'll go and rectify that issue if it is not deployed properly, right? So that time you can rectify that issue, again we'll deploy it. So where you are deploying, if you see here, generally in case of Eclipse we need to add extra plugin for deployment purpose, like Tomcat, WebLogic. There is some servers are there. We need to add extra plugin to the our Eclipse. But whereas in here, so what these people did, so internally there is a Jetty server is there, one of the lightweight server. They already added to the Anypoint Studio. No need to add separately that Jetty server to this Anypoint Studio. By default it will come. So whenever you done your program, right click on that. Whenever you done your project, right click on that, we'll get a run as Mule application option, right? We'll just click that, automatically that changes deployed into the any that JT server. Any issues you can see here. So if it is successfully deployed, also you can see the status. Once you've done the successful deployment, you can go and check your functionality, so based on that base path. Okay, so these are the Anypoint Studio components. So first one is Package Explorer, that contains all the project specific information. Okay, whatever it is, under that we'll discuss tomorrow what are the components under that particular project, we'll see tomorrow. But whole project information there under Package Explorer. So this is whatever the big space here, so that is nothing but canvas. Under the canvas we have again three parts. So next one is here palette. In the palette we have a all the components like transformers, filters, then endpoints, then scopes, so flow control, all the components here we have to select here. We have to drag and drop in the canvas here based on your requirement. Okay, how we'll get to know which component you have to use for your I mean for your um, work, sir. So then that is based on totally requirement actually, based on requirement. So we have to analyze it, which component is suitable, right? That will come based on experience. So and then totally based on the requirement, we have to choose particular component. We have to drag and drop accordingly. So then below is the console space. Any issues, any successful information you can see here. So that's what about the parts, some major parts in the Anypoint Studio. Okay, so that's what. Any questions as of now?
Now, yeah, one
Yeah,
question.
tell me.
The design and Mule debug is only the look or
Uh,
any
actually,
functionality?
actually, see here, as a developer, we should always run in a debug mode. Okay, so we want to see that each component step by step, right? There is a in the Java there is a F6 button is there, right? You can see the step by step, right? What is happening? The previous step, the data is getting or not, we can see it, right? The step by step we can see in the Java, right? Here also we can see that if you click a debug mode, the perspective got changed. So that time breakpoints will come at here actually. The breakpoints and all. So I will explain you how to debug it and all later. You will get a debug points. Based on the debug points, it will stop there. You can check it actually. Is that data is getting or not? Is that in the previous step you are getting null records? Kind of thing. For checking in a debug mode, you have to use the debug, mule debug. If it is a normal mode, that is a mule design. That is the differences. You understood, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, but I'm good.
Okay. So that's what today's session, because tomorrow people will join again. I will share this recording to them. So tomorrow, if they are okay, we'll continue after this Anypoint Studio, right? So we'll explain this package
Okay.
explorer and all. I will try to execute the flow tomorrow. I will show you the debug mode, how to do the debug mode and all. Okay, now.
Okay.
So we'll wind up the session now. We'll meet
And one more
tomorrow
thing.
same time. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, one second. I already have JDK and JRE installed in my machine for
Okay,
Eclipse. Can I
okay.
use the same for Anypoint
So
Studio or
if
do
it
I
is,
need to?
yeah, if it is a 1.7, you can use it actually. If it is a lower version, 1.6, 1.5, so but that won't work. We should use more than 1.7 or equal to 1.7 version.
Okay.
Okay, so if it is not there, even this Anypoint Studio itself, it won't start.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. We'll meet same time tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye.